An introduction to Victorian floral gardens.
Hello and welcome to Videojug. I'm Tom Cole, Head of Horticulture at Capel Manor College, and we're standing in the Victorian Fothergill's garden. This particular example of a Victorian garden though really shows up the planting at its best. When you're using plants for a garden such as this, you're really looking at bedding plants. Bedding plant basically is a term we use to describe the use of a plant. It doesn't really say anything about their life cycle at all. So in fact you might have annuals, biennials or perennials. The beds in this garden show Victorian planting at its best, using bright garish colours together. The whole idea of bedding plants is so that you have two key seasons. Here we're during summer, but later on during October all of these plants will be ripped out, ready for spring bedding plants to go in. So you have this continuous range of colour all year round. To make up any bedding display, you use a key range of plants. Groundwork. These are the plants that form the bulk of the colour, such as using tagetes, the marigold. But to break up that monotonous colour, you also need to use dot plants. Here we've used the purple foliage of coleus to just break up that colour. We're using two key ways of displaying our bedding: groundwork and dot plants. Bedding needn't be just confined to the borders flanking the edges of the garden. With Victorian gardens, they used a lot of space in the middle by using things like circular beds, rectangular beds, and gapped by using gravel paths. In our circular bed here, we're using two key plants. Amaranthus with its wonderful purple foliage. It's quite tall in height and has these very intricately designed seed heads. Surrounding that we have a lovely ornamental grass, eragrostis, which really edges the whole display and will actually turn to white before we take it out in October. The Victorian style garden is really all about show. It's about a garden on stage. It's to be looked at and wandered around and admired. And so you're going to have these bright garish colours in one part of the garden, but you're also going to have some really wild and interesting structures, such as this great ornamental glass house. And in here we're just using it as a display house. We're not really growing any key plants for eating. We have celosia, which almost looks like it's on fire with flames coming up from its bases. We've got black-eyed Susan types, a great climbing annual. And we've also got coleus, a lovely sort of variegated foliage plant. It's all about display. Nothing in there is really going to be eaten. It's just for show.